Josh, so this is a good one. How to deal with heavy emotions. Does it mean we're not awake if a heavy emotion comes? Because we're supposed to be higher than that. We're supposed to be so balanced that we don't even feel anything, right? No. Anybody that tries to portray some image that that they can't feel intense emotions, you got to question their credibility a little bit. It's easy to make a video for 10 minutes or 20 minutes and display some kind of awakened image, But if you had a camera on this person, hidden camera, 24 hours a day, you're going to see things, you see? See, somebody turns the camera on, they're like, we're laughing. You think when they walk in their house, when they're, let's say they're living alone, you walk in your house, they're like, no, they're, who knows? But they're more natural. So why is it when we turn the camera on, we got to be something, you got to show, I got to put on my best act, Same with going out in public. It's like, sometimes I can just imagine how the people are when they're alone, but then when they go in public, they put the painted smile on, and it's like everybody's acting on some level. We're all acting. And then they complain like, man, I get so tired when I go to town or when I go out, and I'm home now. Well, yeah, because you're acting. It's hard work. I was an actor in Hollywood. That's actually easier work, though. If you know you're acting, it's easier than when it's just an unconscious habit, and you just, you want to try to impress people. But when everybody's doing that, it just looks silly, I wrote some things down because I felt this was important. But as far as heavy emotions go, I feel, let's touch on 3 categories, because I had somebody ask me about this, about if a loved one dies, for example. That can be some heavy emotion. Yogananda felt it when his mom died. This is an awakened being, and he wanted to kill himself when he was younger, but still, it was just very deep attachment, karmic attachment. It's like you have twin, people like this word twin flames. It's like, okay, I like the word, there's some karma between you guys. That means you've had a relation with each other before in previous lives. So then when you meet, it's like, boom, chemistry is just off the chart from the beginning, So, but so just to have fun for a minute, it's like when people say twin flames, it means your relationship. They're talking more about romantic relationships. But they can be twin flame or karmic connected parents or siblings. Somebody's could have been your mother in a previous life or something. I felt that's maybe what happened with Yogananda. So then it's like the love and because you've done this role before, and so it's really strong, this bond. I think he felt that. So that can be intense sometimes if you have, especially when a mother dies. Mother and son or daughter, the mother is very strong biological bond. It's beyond biological. It's very strong. Just to shrug that off, just consciousness. Yeah. The exception is if you can also, though. Lahiri Mahashai was given a speech, and somebody told him, says, your daughter, I forgot. It's in the autobiography of a yogi. I'm sure some of you know this story. I just haven't read it in a while. But he was given a satsang, and then somebody came and said, your daughter just died or something. He says, okay, thanks for telling me. And he continued with the satsang. But then he had to stop because the people in the audience were all shaken up. He said, okay, I understand. We'll stop. Does that mean he's higher level than another master who was told, if he's told his daughter dies, that then he says, okay, I need to take a few moments and process that, and if he cries, does that mean somehow he's more self-realized? See, the mind will come up with stupid stuff like that. We don't know the situation. I don't know the situation, but they didn't give details about why Lahiri didn't have much seeming grief for that. There can be all kinds of things involved and backstory, and sometimes it's like when Muji's mom died. He was given satsang, and one of his disciples, I think, whispered in his ear and told him, and he's okay, and he kept going. He kept giving a satsang. But see, I feel in that case, I know the situation a little better. His mom had already been sick for a long time. And so he kind of already, sometimes you can make peace with somebody who's dying before they actually die. Like you kind of already grieve their death because it's inevitable and it's so close. And so I felt like he did that. So then when it actually happened, there can be sometimes some relief even. It's like, okay, good. The consciousness is out of that body. It's free now, you know. So there can be that involved. It's a complex thing, you know. But the point is, don't have these ridiculous concepts in your mind of of what awake looks like and what it doesn't. And if somebody has emotions, somehow think, oh, he's not awake. It may not be. You see, there's no standard. I don't like these words so much, awake and not awake, because you never get fully awake, but okay, I'm using them just to point to something. Somebody could be fully awake. No, they can't. Somebody can be awake and have no emotions and it be totally natural, or they can have full-on heavy emotions and it be totally natural. Another person who's totally ego-identified could have no emotions and it can be very weird and unnatural. Or they can have full-on emotions and it also be not natural. It can be too extreme or too the mind's cranking up the whole melodrama. And so we can't judge just, through our little mind and mental concepts and all that, because we'll just mess everything up, So I ended up talking a lot about that one. Another category, heartbreaks. If you're in a relationship with your twin flame or some karmic partner who you've done this before with, and it ends, let's say, it's like the consciousness learned what it wanted to learn through this particular stage with this person, and then it's like, okay, it's time to end. On a deeper, higher level, the intelligence did that. But in the human construct, we're like, whoa, why did it end? Like, no. You feel your heart is like, give me my heart back, And because when you fuse with somebody like that, it's like you're fused with them. Like that Philadelphia experiment. You ever see that video? When Albert Einstein, he was too ahead of his time. He knew that at the end, and he called the experiment off. But he did the Philadelphia experiment, and he ended up, he devised this electromagnetic machine where it could bend light, and he let that damn thing off, and these people on the ship, they ended up getting stuck, like they were stuck to this tree. It'd be like, I'm like part of this tree, And then, so yeah, they had to call off that experiment. What was the point of that? Oh, merging. Yeah, that's some heavy fusion. So you don't fuse that much with your partner, but energetically, you're pretty fused. And so when that ends, when that chapter ends, there's going to be some withdrawal, some detox, some purging. That's natural. That's the tax that we got to pay for having such a heavenly experience, you see? It's duality. You can't be in duality, have the dualistic experiences, and not experience both duality and non-duality. You just can't do that. So what are you going to do? You're just going to, just sit out here. There's some yogis just sit out in the Himalayas. They don't have any interaction with anything. Or you can be in life and experience life, and then you're going to have to taste these opposites for a little bit, So that's another example, though. If you're in a really loving relationship, at least for a little while, and then that ends, there's going to be some processing of it. That's natural. It's okay. It doesn't mean, oh no, I'm not spiritual after all. just let the experience happen, which you got no choice anyway. But anytime we experience something, there's the consciousness that's watching us experience it. When you had strong crying spells or super anger, there's something that's observing that. You're like watching yourself cry or watching yourself be angry. Watching yourself, you're watching a temporary like silhouette of yourself, because it's not going to last. But it's like you're the audience and the actor and the director all at the same time. So that's my point. Your consciousness that you are, it's not caught up in that. It's watching. It's just the virtual reality experience we're having, because we have all the software and we're deep into the suit, virtual reality suit. We're experiencing it like full on. That's just how it is, you know. And some people, their constitution, they're more emotional by nature. They're gonna have an experience of emotions more than someone who's, you know, more intellectual by nature or more dry. You see, there's those factors too. If some people have more water element, then they're going to be prone to a little more emotions, awake or not, doesn't matter. And those who have more air or fire's better. Talking Ayurvedic talk now. Those who have more fire, maybe they won't be so emotional in terms of sadness, but they can get angry. See, they may like Robert Duvall in The Apostle. That was a good movie. He beat up Billy Thornton. Billy Bob Thornton was messing with his church. He says, let's go out here. And Billy Bob's like, what, are you going to preach to me? He says, no, I ain't going to preach. I'm going to do something else. And he beat him down. So, I mean, he had fire, you know. The other thing, suppression. When we embark on this spiritual journey and we start to really look at things and we're not escaping via drugs and alcohol or sex or food or whatever, when we stay present with ourselves, we all have suppressed emotions. Can't help it. That's just part of life. But when we start being present and we're not escaping, that stuff's going to start to come up. And we can have some really strong balls of, like, emotional balls of energy that come up sometimes. And sometimes a situation can bring that out. This is how that road rage happens in America, because people, I'm like sitting on a hill. People are like walking time bombs and they don't know it. So they get into their car and another car cuts them off, and all of a sudden this, well, to use Eckhart Tolle language, pain body awakens. It's already there though. It's just they're not aware of it. It takes, life will prescribe a situation to you to bring that out. And then you'll see, like, whoa, I got some like heavy energy in me. Now, that can happen to a lesser degree. We're not going to, probably kill somebody on the road. But we can be, it doesn't even need a situation to provoke it, actually. You can just wake up in the morning, you can go to your kitchen to eat, and you just notice like something's heavy today. Or you can just be a little extra sad that day or angry. That stuff, we're like being purged. Like we had a nice meditation at night, nice meditation in the morning, for example. And then we're like, why am I feeling, I'm not feeling like I should think I'm feeling, like I think I should be feeling, because I'm doing my spiritual practice. I should be, peace and love. But yet, I'm feeling a little off. I'm feeling like maybe a little angry, a little depressed, whatever. It's because your sadhana, your spiritual practice, is purging these energies, these stale energies in you that your higher self wants to purge out, so your lower self is more purified, so then the lower self and higher self can confuse more. And then we get to enjoy, the higher self can enjoy being incarnating into the human dimension, which is a lower dimension. But it's like the higher self can't do that if this body's not somewhat purified. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, it doesn't have to be completely purified. See, the mind can do that too. It'll be like, damn, I need to get so squeaky clean and perfect, and that'll never happen. You get to a decent place or state. Intuition guides you with that. You know, the mind, it'll always come up. The mind will either say, oh no, you need to do a lot more, or it'll say you don't need to do anything. It's extreme like that. Intuition will say, look, you're working on yourself, good. Don't get so crazy with it though. Yeah, you get a little impatient if somebody says, okay, that's the play of your ganas, that's the play of the elements in you. You might have a little more fire than the average person. Someone else, they get sad, maybe they get sad a little easy. Wow, why do I get sad so easy? Okay, you have a little more water element, that's no problem. Don't worry about it. It's not who you are. Stay as yourself, you see? Intuition guides on how to do that. But don't escape. This is the thing. When we feel these heavy emotions come up, if we go get high or go get drunk or go have sex or go eat a big ice cream cake, once in a while, okay. But if that's what we're doing when these heavy emotions come up, we're not going to get through them. They're going to go back down into dormant state again, and then we got to wait till the next time. So don't do that. That's why the first relationship, love, karmic relationship I got in my early 20s, when that ended, I was messed up for like 9 months. But I never went out and escaped from it. I was already clean and sober and going to meetings. I knew that wasn't an option. So what happened is I ended up processing all these issues, the abandonment and attachment issue, and just all that stuff, all those energies that were dormant that she brought up in me. That's the benefit of relationships. They can dig under the fingernail where meditation can't even get to sometimes, you know. And then you get to see yourself. You get to see your lower self so you can transcend it. I sat with all that, and man, it was very transformative. So the next time that happened, so-called heartbreak, it just wasn't so heartbreaking because it was like I was strong but yet vulnerable. Wasn't afraid to get hurt again. It's like, okay, brilliant. If I'm supposed to get hurt, I'll get hurt, but I can bear it because I went through that initial thing. So don't run from when certain emotions, heavy stuff comes up. You gotta like deal with it, you know? I mean, if you need, you can go like maybe to the sauna if you need some switch, like just something to kind of, sometimes the mind can get so, we're locked in to a certain situation or feeling, the obsessive compulsive identity just kicks in, and we need some, switch. That's why people do drugs and drink. We don't need to do that though. Take a hot shower, go to the sauna, something that it's clean, but it's beneficial to you, but it doesn't have consequences either. Call a friend, do something like that. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what I'm saying. Well, let's see if I missed anything. Cooperate with the feeling. It's coming up to heal you, so that you don't have to carry this stuff anymore. You want your being to be clean. See, even people that aren't aware of these emotions hiding in them, somebody who's sensitive can see it. You can just see it. They're carrying it energetically. They're carrying it. It's a subtle thing. So those who aren't, you can see that too. There's just something about them that's holistic. There's some balance there. So yeah, that's the point, is they're coming up, it's a good thing. You didn't do anything wrong. The other thing is, don't try to use like a spiritual practice as a way to get rid of them. Like, oh, what's the spiritual technique now? You know, how do I get rid of this? Yeah, Om Namah Shivaya. It's not going away. God damn it. God, take this away. Prayer, take this away. Sometimes there's nothing you can do. Your prayer is being answered. You want to wake up. This is how you wake up. Like, you let this stuff happen. You let this purging take place. So don't try to spiritualize it away. What's the word? Spiritual bypassing, and yeah, you don't want to get into that. And don't think. See, the mind has these concepts. You gotta catch the mind out. The mind will say, "Well, I shouldn't be feeling this. Like, I'm spiritual. I should just be laughing all day." Or I should just be in this deep, ecstatic state of just peace. And, you know, what's this heavy emotion? You know, it doesn't match. That gets a lot of people, those thoughts. Don't buy them. Realize this is the human, the karmic self. It's going through its process. Let it go through its process. Don't worry about it. Don't identify with it. Again, remember, you're aware of when this is happening. You're aware of the thoughts that are saying, why am I doing this? I don't want this to be here. You got to keep going back. Keep receding back. There's something the awareness is aware of that. How do you stay as the awareness when you already are the awareness? It's an intuitive thing. You just somehow keep doing this work. You just realize that. There's some kind of check-in going on. Like, okay, this is happening, but wait a minute, I'm still here. Like, I'm not affected by this, but yet I'm doing this. It's like there's two eyes. There's the human eye, like, yeah, I'm feeling this, I'm doing this, I'm excited, I'm depressed, I'm angry, but I'm nothing. I'm space. I am what I am. Whatever. It's like this is the duality. It has to be there. Like, that's a gift. If there was just the human self, we would just be totally insane. And if there was only the pure self, we wouldn't know how nice the pure self is. You see? All right, this was, I think, the longest video I ever made on this channel. Let's see how it does. All right, have a good day.